guys, it's 4 o'clock. Everyone just got home. They're tired, they're cranky, and they want to eat. I'm going to share with you the pantry ingredients I rely on so dinner still always happens in my house. I'm going to walk through each pantry item by category so there's no confusion, and I will share the real meals that these all turn into. So let's dive in, and I'm going to share what I do. Okay, I always start with protein because if I have protein, I can build a meal around that. And it's easy for me even on my low energy days. And with these, I can make like a quick chicken and rice with this chicken breast. I don't always love salmon, but this pink salmon makes a really nice like salmon patty. You can make those. Tuna is always an easy, good one. You can do like tuna casserole or tuna melts. Tuna is so versatile. And then peanut butter, I always keep this around because like with kids, if they're hungry and they're picky eaters, peanut butter and jelly still usually makes them pretty happy. And then I do, as you can see, I have some frozen meats here and veggies. I do kind of consider my freezer an extension of my pantry. I do try to buy meat in bulk when I can and freeze it. So these pantry ingredients always have something to pair with. Ground chuck, you can do anything with ground beef. It's so versatile. Pork sausage, you can do dinner or breakfast for dinner with that. Pork chops are another pretty easy thing. You can, if you're coming home late and they're still frozen, defrost them in your microwave and you can fry these up relatively quickly. These, like these smoked sausages or like kielbasa or whatever, you can fry these up with like cook this up, with like fried potatoes on the side, or do a sheet pan meal and veggies. The frozen veggies is always an awesome thing to keep on hand. You can do canned veggies too. And I do have plenty of those on my pantry shelf, but I prefer, if I can't do fresh, frozen is my next favorite, and then canned I go to. But bacon, that's another one you can easily throw together like BLTs or do. My husband will always eat breakfast for dinner. When I do not know what to do, my backup is always breakfast for dinner. And that's why, again, I know eggs belong in your refrigerator, but I do keep eggs as a regular staple, and I consider it as a pantry staple because, again, you can do so much with it. It's a nice quality protein. It fills you up and sticks with you. So let's move on to the next category. Okay, now we're gonna go into group 2. This would be like the carbohydrate area, meal filler section. I always keep rice around. We like this basmati because it's long grain rice kind of. It's good. And then pasta, of course. I have a ton of different pasta. This is just what I bought recently from Aldi. These are like, pasta is so versatile. Like if you look, there is really no reason why you can't cook something fast. You guys, I'm not trying to make you feel guilty, but with Pinterest and now ChatGPT AI, you can literally type in, I have some pasta and some potatoes and onions. What can I do with that? And they will give you a ton of recipes. And with pasta, like in Italy, they use the most basic of ingredients and make their pasta awesome. They'll have use this pasta and cut up some pancetta or we could use bacon and just like a little cream, and maybe they'll put a fried egg over it, and you have a delicious dinner that took less than 30 minutes, and it's awesome. So look into that. If that's not your thing, then fine, move on. But I don't just keep this kind of pasta. I have like elbow macaroni. You can quick whip up a homemade macaroni and cheese or whatever. Pasta is just so versatile. It's just amazing, and it sticks with you. The oats, I know that's not really dinnerish, but I guess if you don't want to be doing like bacon and all the other things that I mentioned for breakfast, even oatmeal is stick to your ribs. You can do that for a quick dinner. Add some peanut butter to it and make it more proteiny. You can add some fruit to it. It's just quick oats are very versatile and do a lot for you too. It doesn't just have to be for breakfast. And I mentioned rice. You can do a lot with rice. You can make it whatever rice takes on, whatever flavor you want to give it to. Give it to rice. And then potatoes also, they're another one. They'll take on any flavor palette you give it. Like if you want to do the breakfast for dinner thing, like I keep talking about, you can fry up some potatoes or just, potatoes are just so versatile. You can use really anything with it. It goes with anything, and they're quick. They can be quite quick. You can use them for sheet pan meals, mash them, all the things. And I have reds and golds here. I like the golds for like mashed potatoes more, and I like red potatoes for like sheet pan meals and such. I always have onions on hand because they really add flavor enhancement to whatever you're cooking. These, I usually try to get the sweet onions. So that is basics, some carbohydrate basics that you can add to your meal. And these are just some simple things that you can always keep on hand because they really make a big impact, and you can make your dinner good with these. Okay, now we'll move on to, since we discussed that carbohydrates makes meals feel filling and affordable, and rice and pasta, we discussed that can stretch anything. Potatoes work with almost any protein, and oats cover breakfast for dinner nights. And this is how you keep people full without overthinking it. Then we're going to move on to this little category I have here. These are like the meal builders. And what this does, these are ingredients that turn basics into actual dinners, like soups, chilies, casseroles, skillet meals I mentioned. This is where everything comes together. And I always keep diced tomatoes on hand, tomato sauce, because I do keep like marinara sauce and stuff on hand too. But if you're out of it or don't have it, you can take tomato sauce and just spice it up and make it marinara-y tasting. You can do a lot with very little. And then I always keep these broth seasonings around. You can keep the actual broth, like made liquid broth, but it takes up so much space in your pantry. So I do keep these on hand. I do keep the other ones on hand too, but not as often, and I run out quickly of them. So if I'm in a pinch, I will use these. This is probably more chemically, so I try not to use these all the time, but I do use them in a pinch. So those are the things that I use that can really bring things together. Like I mentioned with soups, stews, any of that, this really helps a meal come together. Okay, this group, this is basically your baking and from scratch basics, which is baking powder, flour, and good old pure cane sugar. And what these do, these are very easy to overlook, but with flour and sugar, you can make bread, biscuits, pancakes, muffins, waffles, even simple desserts. And this is really what gives you the flexibility when you're cooking from scratch. So I always keep this on hand, different versions, bread flour, self-rising flour. I usually keep a bunch of different ones, but these basics will keep you going to get dinner on the table quickly. Okay, and this is my last grouping. It's spices. You don't need a ton of spices. I keep these on my counter because they're the ones I use most often, and they are pepper. This is garlic powder. Love garlic, use a ton of that. This garlic salt, I use a ton of that often. Onion powder. These are my very basics that I use regularly. And salt, of course. You want salt. And we like paprika. Parsley's another good basic. Just even if it doesn't have as much flavor, it just adds, it makes your food look pretty, because we do eat with our eyes too. Thyme is another favorite. I love this in like chicken dishes and stuff. Thyme really makes chicken shine. Dill, we like that a lot. Bay leaves, I use that a lot for like soups and more stews. Red pepper lasts a long time because a little goes a long way unless you really like spicy stuff. And then smoked paprika is one of our faves. I use that in almost everything that paprika can go into. It's really yummy, but a little bit of the smoked paprika, not too much. But anyway, that is that for the seasonings. I have a lot more than these, but these are my basics that I use all the time. And definitely, if you're just starting out with a pantry, I would say just start with these. Pepper, salt, garlic powder, and onion powder. And that's a great start for you. Those are some nice basic staples to have around to make your food taste good. Spices are like super important. You can take the littlest simple thing, but if you have the right seasoning, you can really make it taste good. You don't need fancy stuff. You just got to be able to work with what you have. Between pantry basics, freezer protein, and eggs, most meals are already halfway done. If you're trying to make cooking feel simpler, start with ingredients that turn into meals. That's what's made the biggest impact and difference to me. It's keeping these on hand. Really help get dinner on the table without freaking out. And again, these do not have to be exactly what I'm sharing with you. You get whatever your family likes, whatever, maybe you can't do flour, maybe you hate eggs, whatever. Just make it work for your family. I know that you can do this, and I know this will be so helpful for you. So anyway, I'm going to end here, and I always share more basic homemaking skills like this if you'd like to follow along. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.